and welcome back to the In My Father's House podcast. I am your host, Reah Stevenson, with my co-host,
Ruel Stevenson. Welcome to episode 2. So today we're actually going to be discussing about our relationship in depth. I know the last time we spoke about it, it was more like on the surface level, but today we're actually trying to go more in depth. People have been asking certain questions and they wanted to know what's the reason why, as a single father, I was there, and they want to actually have Reah response and get a little bit to understand.
Keep it. It's good.
No, I don't like that.
Keep it natural, man. Just keep flowing.
So they want to get a little bit more understanding of Reah's perspective in terms of me or our dad being in our life versus other people or girls or boys who didn't have their fathers in their life. So with that, we'll get into the conversation. So Reah, what's your take in regard of your friends, and I know you have friends and family that grew up without a father. What has your experience been with having a father in your life, all your life?
Yeah, I think so far, it's good, I guess. It's not like I have anything to compare it to because I haven't been in a situation where you're not there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't really have a comparison, but I guess in a sense it's like I can't even compare it to like my friends because pretty much all of my friends have fathers in their life. So, but like speaking from my own personal experience, it's been good, I guess. It's been pretty cool. You know, you're cool. You're a cool guy. You know.
She's being modest. So has there ever been a time where you've been extremely angry or like, oh my gosh, my dad, you know what I mean? Like, yeah?
Yeah.
So like you wanna go in some more into that?
An extreme anger?
Or a time where, you know what I mean, you're like, okay man, you know, this guy's like that is really getting on my nerves or whatever.
I can't think of like a specific time because as a kid, I'm sure even you, like there's been moments where like, you know, you just if you get in trouble, you're like, I can't stand him, I want to get in trouble. So it's like you get in trouble and of course you're gonna be mad. But I noticed one thing I will say that I noticed like as I get older, it's like kind of like when you're younger, it's like, oh, I wish I didn't get in trouble. But it's like now that I'm older, I don't really do much things to like get in trouble anymore because like I've kind of like chilled out, I guess.
That's it.
Calm down, I guess, in a sense. I don't know. I just feel like as you get older, you become more. You just don't do stuff. Like when I was younger, I do like random stuff that'll get me in trouble, like talking in class. Now I don't even like talking anymore. And then just as you get older, I feel like you reach a certain point where you're like, what's the point of even doing this? Gotcha. Like if I do this, why? Mm-hmm. And that, I think, in a sense, it's a good thing because you start to be open, like look into the future more. Because as a kid, you're thinking, oh, this is happening now. I want this now. But then as you get older, it's more of a thing of like, if I do this now, what's going to happen in the future? What's going to be a result of this? And I think I will say that like that is based on how I was raised because I've always been raised where it's like, you do this happens. Like for example, I do this, I get in trouble. That's a cause and effect. So we've always had like, when it comes to like, I guess punishment or reinforcement, it's always been a cause and effect thing. And I think that's actually a thing that you do a lot because rather than like just punishing me, you say this is why you're being punished. So I can understand, okay, because I did this rather than just, oh, you're punished. It's like a thing of because I did this, this is the result. And now that I'm older, it's more of a thing of like, now I look into where it's like, if I do this, this is what's going to happen.
Interesting. You know, it's funny that you mentioned that, right? Because me, as a young father, I had you when I was 25 years old. And I remember, so I'll kind of share a little bit of the backstory itself because most people would know. But when I had you, or your mom and I, we had you, we were in the hospital, we were having fun. We were there, we were having fun, your uncles, your aunts, everybody was there. And mind you, I'm only going based off of the knowledge at the time. I really didn't understand. All I knew was having a daughter, right? And she's about to come. So I needed to be there. So I got there and literally everybody was just having fun, man. My mom was there, my aunt was there, you know what I mean? Friends and family, everybody was wanting to come there because it's Reah, it's Ruel. And literally we Well, people, it died down.
Mhm.
The only person that remained was my mom and me, and we were just literally just trying to help your mom through. So then afterwards, you have to go back and you came out. When you finally came out, one of the first things I did, because I didn't like I said, you know what I mean. If you remember Solomon in the Bible, when God asked Solomon what should he give him, he didn't ask for riches, he didn't ask for wealth, he didn't ask for power. He simply said, "Help me to be wise to lead thy people." And I had no idea how to be a father. So I took you in my arms. I held you after we came back from getting you cleaned up and everything. Held you in my arms, just your mom and I. And I held your mom's hand. I knelt down and I prayed. And I said, "Lord, this is your daughter. You lent her to me and I'm giving her back to you. So I'm putting her in your hands." So within the first hour of you taking your breath, I dedicated you back to God, literally. And I didn't wait for a pastor, I didn't wait for an elder, I didn't wait for anybody. As the man, I understood that somehow within me, I needed to give you back to God. And I'll be honest with you, the Lord has actually protected you and covered over you, because I've seen a lot of things could have happened. But he's literally just mold you and that kind of stuff into the person you are. So one of the things, with that being said, when it came down to how do I discipline, how do I actually correct you, how do I keep you on the path that you're supposed to go on, that was difficult because I didn't really have an example from men who had daughters. So I remember when I went to church, I saw this one guy, right? He had 2 daughters and 2 sons. He had a daughter, no, I think it was a son, a daughter, a son, a daughter. That was so cool, right? So, should I call his name? I don't know. His name is Lemon. I'll just give it, his name is Lemon, right? His name is Lemon. And, I remember I asked him one time, I said, "Hey man, give me some pointers in terms of how to actually raise my daughter, because I didn't know. I wanted to do such a good job, especially there was a point where, of course, your mom and I weren't together anymore, but I did not feel, or I knew I could not, I was raised with both parents, right, mom and dad. So I could not just abandon my daughter. I couldn't do that. So he shared with me, what you want to do, you want to teach your child from cause to effect. And I remember that thing stood out to me because I never understood, I never even knew that, right? He said, cause and effect, you want to have rules. In order to have cause and effect, you must have rules. There must be established rules. And it can't be fly by night. It must be things that's established and ingrained. Yeah. So literally, when it comes down to things like lying, stealing, what else? Being disrespectful, irreverence during worship or church time and different things. They all had some form of punishment. No, if you did not commit or break the rules, there was no need to talk to you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, the cause and effect thing came in very early, and then I read in this book, they talk about training a child from cause and effect, right? And if anybody, I think the book is called, is either Child Guidance or Counsel on Diet and Foods, right? So, from an early age, I learned that, yes, I must teach you from cause and effect. And then, when you step outside of the rules, of course, I have to discuss with you. And you know what was one of the hardest thing? It's like having to, okay, when you step out, when you break the rules or whatever, I had to pretty much come and literally pray with you. Then I had to discuss with you, what is it that you did wrong? Then ask you, what is the rule? And then afterwards pray again and then administer punishment. Yeah. Man, I can have the conversation all the time. I could talk with you and all that stuff and so. But I did not, when people said, "Oh, this will hurt me more than it hurt you." As a father, right? As a father, it literally, you felt the physical pain, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
But trust me, the emotional pain was 10 times harder. Because you got to think about it. I never wanted to spank you. I never wanted to spank you, right? But not because I did not want to spank you, I let you get away with things. No, I may talk several times just because I'm trying to avoid having to spank you or whatever. And I remember I spoke to this one other guy, and he said to me, "Never use your hands to spank your children."
Really?
Yeah, right. And he's like, you always want to use like a rod or a switch. So when I say a rod, let me explain. Like a belt.
Okay.
Right, like a belt. You want to use a belt, and you never slap them in the face. You never slap them. You want to slap them. You want to spank them in their hands or in their butts, right? And that's okay.
But like why?
Okay, so the thing is, right? If you slap somebody in the face.
No, I'm saying like I get that. That's that's way out of order. But like I'm saying like what's the specifics when it comes to your hand?
Oh, why not to spank with your hands? Oh. Great question actually. Great question. The reason why you don't want to spank with your hands because you always want to use your hands to embrace.
Ah, okay, that makes sense.
I
was wondering what you were explaining.
So you know what I mean. Use your hands to embrace and to always show that love.
Okay,
so because you don't want to like keep hitting all stuff. So and then next thing you know, you got to embrace your child. And the child just jumping.
That makes
sense. You don't want that. You want when the hands is like the safety. So if you think about it, one day, right, you'll get married, and you know what I mean. What if your husband's like, you know what I mean, doing that kind of stuff to you and everything, right? Now imagine one day he's gonna give you some hug or love or whatever, and you start flinching because you think he's gonna hit you. So your hands is always used to love, to like if you know this, come, right? Hug, welcome, safety. So that's why you use your hands. So again, at an early age, I started learning different things, and I realized that a lot of guys had children, and especially daughters, and they're not there. They're not there. So,
since you mentioned that is a question I've always wondered. Is that like I notice a lot of the time when you hear like the father's daughter, a lot of times it's more like I can't remember the percentages. I know we were studying it one time in class because I take like psychology and all this stuff. So it's like we were studying the family dynamic, and basically there's like the ratio to fathers leaving their daughters is way higher than fathers leaving their sons. And I was thinking like, is it coming from a sense of like intimidation in a sense where it's like you can raise your son how you want it to be raised because you have like that relatability, but then when it comes to your daughter, that's like a whole new playing field because like that's a whole other like gender, so you don't understand how to raise a woman the way you would raise yourself in a sense.
Well, true. I can't speak I can't speak in that regards to having a son. I don't have a son as yet. But you know what I mean. So you don't have a brother yet. You know what I mean. She'll have one day. But I look at it this way. I remember like going back to the previous video we talked about when I believe I was actually having a son, and your mom called me. She's like, "Ruel, it's a girl." She just laid it on me, right? Tear came on my eye, went away. Well, the thing is, I asked myself the question, what is it that I could do with my son that I wouldn't be able to do with my daughter? And the question was nothing. The answer was nothing, sorry. And so I at that point, I purposed in my mind that come whatever comes, I will take care of my daughter because it's my daughter. And for me, it was just amazing because I look at it this way. There was something in me that was put in the oven, right? Because I know if I start to be graphic, then I can't be graphic, right? So, and I'll use the words in the Bible. The seed that was in me, right? My daughter and I, we talk about this all the time, right? The seed that was in me went into the oven of the womb, right? And that seed was you. And it stayed there for 9 months. I used to talk to you. I used to sing. I used to play this song. I can't remember that song, man.
I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like I remember there was a song and I can't remember it either.
I don't know. It's a song that and every time I play that song in the
it's literally like a song where it's like once you play, you be like, oh!
Yeah, like, yeah. So I don't even know if your mom remember, but I remember one day we were kicking up in the belly, right? In the belly. And I played the song and literally you just piped up. And that's to tell you, right, that children actually could relate and they could hear what takes place outside.
Yeah.
So that tells us that, you know, as parents, either contemplating having children or they're pregnant right now, you gotta watch what you listen to.
Mm-hmm.
If your husband or the person you're pregnant for is violent, or you're watching violent movies and whatever, your child will come out really messed up.
Yeah.
But if you're actually like, being calm and collective and having a discussion and reading and stuff, the child will come out totally different, right? So my dad always used to tell me, Ruel, make sure you give your children everything that you never had growing up. And like I said to you before, I wanted to actually have a Christian family.
Yeah.
I watch people in Antigua, in the Caribbean, they would have worship with their children, especially after the Josiahs, right? I admire them. So I'm gonna call their name real quick just to give them a shout out, right? So I remember Mr. and Mrs. Josiah, Sherry Ann, Glenn, Estelyn, Aldwin, and Delroy. You know what I mean? I admire their family a lot because they had a mother and father who would have devotion with them. The father took them everywhere, right? He never like just send them. They went to church together, and these guys was of a different disposition than I was. I mean, I had the privilege of being in class with Aldwin, and I would observe him, very calm, cool. Aldwin very, very, very chill. Delroy, very chill. Glenn, everybody was just chill, and they never like. And of course, the mother and the father was a disciplinarian. Now I remember the Tittles, right? Miss Tittle, she actually took me in as her son, right? So Mom Tittle, I saw Cornell, Alaric, Ricola, Dyke. You know what I mean? And literally these guys, I would want to be like them. I want to have a mom and a dad who literally would pray with me and teach me about God. So I didn't have that. So growing up now, when I grew up and I had you, I was like, you know what? Hey, I remember we used to read books together and study the Bible and everything. So, you know what I mean? That's a little bit about our relationship, and I guess a little bit more in depth, and also understanding like the whole where the cause and effect came from. Yeah. Because again, it was important to me to teach you about the Heavenly Father, but I had to learn Him myself. I'm still learning. But now you can actually. I remember one day you told me that, hey, you know, you're not there when I'm actually agonizing with God and praying and asking Him to change me. I was like, oh, my bad. I was like, okay, let me. You remember that story I'm talking about when we were driving down Lithonia, right? And I was telling you that I said, Reah, you know, you used to be more serious when it comes to God. You was direct. Yeah. You remember that, right? And so I was telling you that I used to be more serious, and you used to be more fresh up with it. Your relationship with God used to be different. Yeah. And you said, Dad, respectfully, are you there when I'm praying and I'm agonizing with God, crying, asking Him to change me and save me, right? Are you there? And when you said that to me, I had to apologize. I took the gentle rebuke. You weren't disrespectful. You weren't what do you mean by praying? No, you were just like that. I respectfully, you know what I mean? Are you there when I'm actually praying and asking God to change me? And I realized that, you know, you do have a relationship with the Father, and it's something that needs to grow more. Yeah. So
sure. I will say really quick that like I love that about a relationship in a sense as like I'm able to like one, not only talk to you, but in a sense, like you said, like rebuke you in a sense, but like of course come at you like respectfully, because it's okay to like, you know, confront you about something that come from a respectful standpoint. But it's like I know there's like parents out there where it's like if you try to talk to them about something, or you know, like in a sense correct them on something that they're saying that may not be true, they take it as like you're being disrespectful or you're talking back. But I love that we're able to like communicate and like, you know, just talk in a sense where like you won't take offense to everything.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's important because again, in terms of raising the child, right? And this has just been my example, my experience, right? Some people can attest, like in the Caribbean, you have parents that go, don't say nothing, don't talk back. And you're like, And then you start crying now, like, don't cry, don't cry. I said, don't cry, don't. And they beat it. I'm like, so they're beating you, right? And they tell you not to cry, and you're like, what in the mess is this? How can you're striking me?
Yeah.
And you know, it's just crazy. But anyhow, but not every Caribbean parent is like that, okay? So not every Caribbean parent is like that. You mean you get beat mercilessly for things that you have no idea about. So I didn't want to be that type of parent where my daughter couldn't come to me and speak to me, right? The crazy thing was, I wanted to be my daughter's. I want to be like, in a sense, like most times daughters gravitate towards their mothers, and they run, mommy, 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 look, because they can relate.
Yeah.
And boys sometimes gravitate to their mothers too, because their fathers are not there, which is crazy. I wanted to be the father that my daughter would run to me versus run to her mom first. And you know what? I can tell that we had such a we have such a very interesting relationship, because so you would come to me, you talk to me and tell me stuff, right? But I think the way you talk to me very plain and very direct. And we've had many deep discussions, like where so I remember one time you cried, right? Because we were talking about stuff, and when you thought about it or whatever, it's like you just broke down. You broke down. We'll talk about that in a minute though.
What's your favorite story you thought?
There's multiple times.
There is. There honestly is.
There's multiple times, you know what I mean? But we've had very deep conversations.
Yeah.
And if people could actually realize that, you know, the relationship between a father and a daughter, you know, it's such a beautiful thing. I'm not just saying because, like I put it this way, you've been a great daughter to me. You've been a great blessing to me. And because of you, I'm like, man, I would have more kids. That's so crazy, right? And it's not even like, oh, well, they did such a good job, or Leo did such a good job. It's more so like understanding the things that I understand now. The Lord has blessed me with you.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like more fathers should be more involved. But if you think about it, and I gotta say this, right? Can I speak directly to the fathers?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Cool. So I'm gonna say, for all fathers watching this, right, video, you do not understand what you're missing out in your child's life. Your child actually needs you, right? And I'll be honest, when I had my daughter Reah, I wasn't ready to be a father. I was young. I was doing everything wrong. I was running around with a bunch of women. In a sense, I wasn't ready. And it just so happened that I met her mom, and her mom kind of tapered me down, like, hey, you know, stop, this is not good, or whatever. And she took an interest in me. But at the time, I was just like 25 body, but an 18-year-old mindset. And I just wasn't ready to I wasn't ready to be a father. But understand this, your child, ready or not, is still your responsibility. If you have a child on the way, or you have a child, boy or girl, or you've had one that you haven't seen in a while, because you don't want to be there, I'm telling you, you're missing out on the best portions of your life. Now, if the situation is because somebody else is making it difficult for you to be in your child's life, fight for that child. That child didn't ask to be here. And not because you were having a moment of fun gives you the right to walk in that child's life. It doesn't give you that right. Yes, of course, my daughter and I, we were having fun. Her mom and I were having fun. Cool. But after the relationship ended, it didn't give me a right to walk away from her. And because of my morals, and because I trusted God, she's always been in my life. Always. I remember I used to take, so going back, that's a side note. I remember taking you to school one day, right? And man, we used to have like, I went from having you every single day. I was the first one to give you a bath, right? Yeah, your mom was there. She was looking on, but she's like, well, it's okay, you can do it. And I'm like, hey, let me do it. And she's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, I got experience, girl. What do you think this is? And because I used to take care of my younger brother. So I think that really helped me in actually, you know what I mean, I'm a cousins and stuff, and so helped me to prepare to take care of you. And so I gave you the first bath. And then I remember, what was it? when your mom was like, when you would like soil your Pampers and stuff, your mom was like, ew, it stinks. It stinks. Oh my God, it stinks. I'd be like, so I'll run over like, I got this. You know what I mean? I got this. I'm chest all out. I got this. You know what I mean? And the thing is like, you my daughter. You know what I mean? I'm like, shh. But because, you know what I mean, it's my first child, and I'm super blessed. Like it didn't matter to me. There's nothing that could have gone wrong. So I went from seeing you every day to seeing you every weekend, and that was the hardest transition for me, man. I will pick you up from school on Friday, and then I'll drop you back on Monday for school. I remember one Monday I would walk you to class. Everybody knew me. They saw me, and next thing too, when you were like this going back. Since you were born, I was the one that's always carrying you. I think in most of the pictures that we have that we've taken, I'm the one holding you, right? Not that I didn't want your mom to hold you or anything like that, but I realized that your mom have a really hard job, and it's a man's responsibility to help offload the burdens of the mother. And child rearing is very hard. It's like the greatest job that you can ever have on earth. And the little that I could do, I try my best to do it. And so your mom would just let me, okay, yeah, that's fine, yeah. So in church, I would hold you in my arms, right? There are many times, like 90% of the times I had you, if not 95%. And the only thing I couldn't do is breastfeed, right? Not that I wanted to, but you know what I mean? I'm like, just, that's so your mom was like the human milk producer. So, you know what I mean? But it was again, so when I dropped you off, so go back now, when I dropped you off at school, I'd take you to school, take you to class, and I wouldn't see you until the following weekend, right? I remember one time I came out in the car, and I sat down in the car for a while, and the tears just started coming down, right? Because I realized that I'm not going to see my girl until Friday, and that was hard. And to be honest with you, looking back at it, the person I am now, right? The matured Ruel now. Had I met your mom back then, being this way now, it'd have been a different story, right? Your mom was she was much more mature in many ways than I was at that time, and I wasn't ready, right? I was still growing up. I was still trying to understand myself, understand God, understand what I play into this world, and what is it I'm about. And you know what I mean? It took a while. As a matter of fact, it took me going through divorce. It took me going through divorce with your mom to really start to really plead with God, like change me. I wanted to, but I had to be there for you though. So what would you say, like some of the like the happy moments that you or memories, whether it be happy or not so happy moments you want to share or you could actually talk about?
Happiest moments, of course, to be like, trips that we've gone on, because one, it's a thing of like, of course, new experiences are cool and all, but being able to say that like, oh, I went here, there, like my dad took me here. It's not even like, I guess, for me, it's not like a bragging thing, but it's just like, in a sense, an accomplishment. Because like, what was it? I was counting it. I think it's, how many? It's 7 continents, and I've been to 4 of them, and I'm not even 18 yet. So that's like an accomplishment for me, because it's like all of those continents that I've been to. Literally, you were the one to take me when I went to Asia. That was a trip. We went to Thailand, South America. Wait a minute.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know
that was grandma's.
But I was thinking the Caribbean though.
Yes. Yeah. Caribbean. Well, Caribbean's not a continent.
Well, no.
North America. I live here. Europe. We went to Greece. So it's like these different things. Next up, we need to go to Africa or Australia. I need to check off some more before I turn 18. We got 2 years left.
Okay.
But just those trips in general have like really been some of the high moments of my life. That is like, I have those memories to like eventually like pass down to my kids and stuff like that, and then to complete that legacy and pass down that legacy to them as well. It's kind of like a tradition type kind of thing now, where it's like trips is like a part of our family, because I know I have like friends who don't even have passports and who have barely been out of the state, barely out their city. So it's like being able to do that and show is like one, going on trips, and two, going on trips with their dad is like I'm able to say that like I've been here and here with my dad, and on the contrast where it's like people don't know their dads or people haven't been on trips with their dad, and so it's kind of like in a sense motivation for me, where it's like I want to work hard, achieve big things so that I can pass it on to my kids.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know, it's funny. We had you can talk a little bit about the Greece experience, because I think that man that was a trip.
We talked about it on the Q&A thing.
We talked about it somewhat, yeah. But
I
spoke about it, but you didn't talk about it.
That was an interesting trip because I think I will say that was not our most boring trip, but it was a very chill trip.
Okay.
Because like usually when we go here, we're doing excursions and zip lining and all this extra stuff. But that is like when you're in Europe, they don't really have tigers for you to go and play with. So I think it was say that was like our most chill trip. I guess most fun was when you were driving. I don't know why, but it was so hilarious to me. It was so hilarious because you're like trying to maneuver, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out the map. You're trying to figure out where we're going. You're talking about turn right. There's no right turn right there unless I'm turning into somebody's living room. It was a really fun trip, I will say. It was the most chill trip, but it was a lot of fun.
It's like when we first got there, right? You know, again, yo, do you remember? I don't know if you remember this, right? Mm-hmm. You remember when we were on our way? We went to the airport, right? Mm-hmm. And I came off the little train. Mm-hmm. And we were about to go up the escalator.
Oh, oh my gosh, there's so much that trip that I don't remember. Because even that, we didn't even get on the trip yet, and there was already chaos.
It's like, so what happened? What happened?
All right, so basically, what was it? We were going through TSA. We went through TSA. We're getting, this is Atlanta. So if you're from Atlanta, you know about, what's it, the SkyTrain?
Yeah. No, not the SkyTrain. The train that go between terminals.
The SkyTrain, no?
No, that's the terminal train.
I thought it's called the SkyTrain.
No, the SkyTrain is where it go take you from the airport to the rental car company.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how the SkyTrain is okay. But yeah, it's the train that takes you in between the different places. Mm-hmm. And we're literally, I don't know, was it when we were on the train or when we were getting off the train that you realized? It's
actually passed through TSA and we were going to the terminal itself.
Oh yes, we were like right down from the terminal. Oh, and that was crazy.
And we had enough time, right? We had enough time.
Yeah.
So what happened? I got through TSA and everything. I was talking to the guy there, making friends. I'm always friendly, happy, good lucky. The guy asked me about my drone and all that stuff. Yeah, I had a drone or whatever. So then we came out of the train. I think it's Terminal D. Mm-hmm. I think, and I think I met a lady, Lakeisha, I think it was, or Lakeria, and she was like the project manager for like I think TSA area. Well, I ended up leaving and we went to the train and went to terminal. So I came out the train, and just as we were about to walk an escalator, I realized I didn't have my bag, my suitcase with my clothes. So I'm like, Reah, because you had your luggage.
I had my stuff.
And I'm like, wait, where's my stuff? And all the while, we went through all these different terminals. I didn't even know that I didn't have my luggage. So like, where's my bag? But the train was there.
One of the things I'll say was the funniest moment to me was when I looked at you and I literally saw the moment your face dropped. I literally almost started dying.
Because I did not look. I'm like,
we were so good. We were happy.
I had my drone bag, mm-hmm. And then I'm like, where's my? Yo man, I ran back on the train, right? And I hold the door and I'm asking all the people, hey, y'all see my bag? Y'all see my bag? No, mind you, no crazy I look. And I'm shouting, y'all, and they're like,
what bag?
Them dudes like, cause you know, airport post after 9/11 is like, everybody like, yo, you got a bag deal. So it was crazy, cause I was like, man, I don't know what to do. And I was like, man, we can either turn back now, cause we were like about half an hour before they started boarding. And I was like, yo, we can turn back, or I can go to Greece.
No bag.
And have no bag and just buy clothes. I'm like, man, I'm just gonna go without a bag, man. Cause I'm like, hey, I don't like. So I ended up calling my friend Lakira and asking her to like check and see whatever. And luckily, she went, she checked and she's like, what does it look like? I said it's black. It has no signs. She looked inside of it, and this lady literally, like, I had to take, I ran back from the terminal all the way up,
Yeah, how to get
and
the
then
train.
jump down the escalator, run on the train, go back down to TSA, Terminal T. She met me down there at Terminal T. I said, come. Man, by the time I got back to you, right, we were like the last ones in the plane.
I was literally about to call you.
Yeah, they were like calling they were actually calling me over the PA system. I'm there running through the airport, and I was like, man. So when I got there,
I couldn't even get on because you had my boarding pass.
I was like, yo.
Because I was like, shoot, he ain't coming. He gonna miss out on the
Here's this girl now. Here's this girl. But you know that was I even forgot about that, man.
Yeah.
That was crazy. But then when we got into Greece now, Thessaloniki, more problems. We could not find the rent a car company. I was like, it's at the airport. It's at the airport. Why can't I find this airport? Like, why can't I find this? So now, mind you, there's no shuttle bus to go to Pattaya. You gotta literally. God, I think there was a shuttle bus, but I think it takes like 6 to 8 hours. Some stupidness like that. But with car, it's like 4 hours. So I ended up, I had to cancel that reservation, and then rebook a next one. I think with Avis or something, and then the guys them give me this manual car, stick shift. So my daughter get to see me driving the stick shift. You know what I mean? It's like their cars are so small, right? It's like, golly. But yo, you know, even after we got in, it was like we made a good time though.
I'm trying to think, cause I think we got in that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did, and then we checked in, and I knocked out.
Yeah, man. It's like it was a next morning we got up, and I think you know what I liked about our room though, it was facing, like, you could look out from like it's like a balcony, but it was kind of a little cold, kind of dreary, kind of. And I think it was like kind of like in the winter time, so it's like everything was
there was snow.
Yeah, there was snow on the water was draining off. But you look and you see all the different houses built into the mountain.
Yeah, because we were on the mountain.
Yeah, so it was kind of really cool with that. It was like Greece was like really surreal, especially when we went touring and that kind of stuff. And so it was like if you ever watched the movie, what's the name of the movie? The Hobbit, or one of those kind of movie, or Braveheart, where they actually have like these homes built into the mountain. I was like, man, that's really cool. That's really cool. And then that was a cool trip.
It was.
I
remember I think it was some night we drove down the mountain to like a little convenience store.
No, that was when we actually went driving that day.
Yeah.
So we started driving the day, and then we like GPS was going crazy, guys. Yes. GPS was like turn right, and you're looking for a road. You look for a road, but you're on the straight road. And there's no turn like this. It's like the road goes down the mountain. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then we finally just made a right, go somewhere. That was crazy. So you're saying that all the trips. So we have trips in our family, between us and everything. And so what else is some good experience that you've good or bad in between?
Another trip or just
trip
another
or
experience? Because since we talk about like that trip, I would say I wouldn't rank it the lowest. I would just say it's the chillest trip. It was cool.
I mean, I don't know. I think every trip is unique though.
It is. But I'm saying in comparison to like on a scale of like crazy to non-crazy, that trip was definitely not as crazy. Except for like our own experiences.
Yeah.
But without like having like experience and all that. Because how I compare that trip is like between Thailand and Greece. And everything falls in between. Thailand, in comparison to Greece, those were like on two different sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, it is. You know, it's funny, right? You know, on both trips you actually slept.
Yes.
Left me hanging.
Yes.
Wait,
when on Thailand? What time? Oh, the ride when we got. You cannot blame me. That was like a 2-hour car ride.
Not that. No, I'm talking about the plane.
Oh.
This girl slept. Yo, we flew.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We had the road to ourselves.
And she's just there all nice and cozy. I'm there trying to put on my foot. I know me. Every time they bring the food now, I'm like, hey, wake up. I'm like, you better eat this food.
No, because literally I got conditioned to falling asleep on planes because I remember when I first went to Guyana, literally I don't know what it is because going to Guyana I was perfectly fine, but flying back because I know we went from Guyana to Aruba to here. Literally every single time we got up in the air, my ears would stop popping and everything. So what I learned to do was go to sleep. That way I don't feel it. But then you waking me up, so then I have to feel it now. And I'm like, why did he wake me up for this food when I could have just saved it?
No, they won't give it to you. I'm like, man, she don't want to eat. She crazy. I'm like, man, at least I watch movies and stuff. Yeah. So it was something else. So, but I want to talk about something that recently happened. Mm-hmm. So my daughter and I, so she didn't know I was going to do this, right? My daughter and I, we used to be like really best of friends, right? We used to be like
Please
really
do not
cool.
tell the story.
So I was about 2 years ago. I was in Hawaii with my brother. So my daughter called me. We're talking, right? And she's like, "Daddy, you left me, and I'm supposed to be your best friend." And she's crying, right? And she was griping about how we used to be very close. And I was like, "Real, in order for people to actually be close and different things, we have to spend time together and all that stuff. And you got to call me, right? You have a phone. You have to take the initiative and call me." So then here's the craziness. No. Last week, right? My best friend, quote unquote, went to school. And I take my best friend to school.
Oh my gosh, we're not telling this story.
So we went to school, right? And I had to drop her to school. So I got out of the car and like, let's go walking. She does not want to walk with me.
No.
Right? I'm like, what kind of craziness is this? Like, she doesn't want to walk with me on the school campus. No, she's going to the same school I went to, right? Clayton State University. And I know people there still. And she's done, "Oh, Dad, no, I don't want to walk with you." I'm like, you better come. So we're going to walk around the school. Then afterwards, she's going to class, right? And she will tell me she don't want me to come to class. I'll follow her to class. And I'm like, so how do you want to talk about it?
All right, here's the thing. Coming from my aspect, well, okay, your aspect is, "Oh, I'm walking my daughter to school. This is so nice."
That's not how I sound.
So
that's too light.
cute.
That's not like coming from my aspect. You know what I mean? No.
That's how it was to me.
Whatever.
Because for me, it wasn't a thing of like, it was a thing of I didn't want you to walk me to class because it's like, that's embarrassing.
For who?
Me.
Who looking at you?
That's embarrassing because it's like, if it was like middle school or you'll even know I used to love when you took me to school in elementary school.
What have to do with college?
It's a different world.
Who's looking at you?
It's not about who's looking at me. It's just like when you reach college, you have to embrace your independent persona. You walking me to class isn't independence.
Okay, can I ask a question? Where you got a rule from?
What rule?
We just share with me.
Me. That's how I feel when it comes to college.
Alright, so where you got that from?
Me. That's just how I feel when it comes to college.
So no, you just made it out with the thin air.
Yeah.
Alright, so again, that's not college life.
How?
It's not.
How?
Because really and truly, there are a bunch of people that wish they actually had their father, right? To take them to school.
Okay, here's the thing, right? There's a difference between taking me to school and walking me to class.
That shows, right?
Not only did you walk me to class, you were waving at me through the window. I don't know if you didn't think I saw you, but I literally saw you and I literally went like this in my chair. I was so embarrassed. Because the thing is, the girl in front of me saw you as well and she glanced back at me like this. And I was like, please let me go. I just want to go. I just want to go. I just want to go.
Well, who cares? You make...
Me! That is embarrassing. You were literally like, what?
So what?
No.
If you were like 20...
If you walk me to class...
Hold on, pause. If you're 20, right? If you're 20 or 30, I can understand. But you're 16.
So?
So the first... I remember the first day when your mom and I took you to class?
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
We were excited.
Yes.
So you killed your bus killer.
How?
Because...
When you and mom walked me to class, you helped me find my class, you sat with me. It was cool.
Baby, a bus killer right now.
How?
Because I'm like stoked because my daughter's going to college. Like, yes, she's going to college. You know what I mean? I'm excited for you and all that stuff myself, right? Like, this is my daughter. This is my daughter. That's what parents do. Like, this is my daughter. You know what I mean?
I think for me, in a sense, it also comes from a place where it's like I'm used to it now. Like when you first took me to class, it was like my first time. So of course I wanted you guys there. But I've been in class for almost 2 semesters now.
So what?
So it's chill now.
No.
Yes.
You're making up unrealistic stuff. Anyhow, so I think with that, right? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna throw it out to the audience.
Yes.
Guys, I want to know what y'all guys think. Let us know in the comments, right? Weigh in on this argument or this debate, right? What side do you think she's right? You think I'm right? Let us know what you think, right? And we'll share more about our story later on, that kind of stuff. But guys, I think this is a good stopping point right now. Just want to say we love you. Thank you. You want to close up?
Yeah, I'll close it out. With that being said, let's prove, Dad, that I am right. Let's join together, band together. But yeah, with that being said, we have come to the end of the second episode. We love you all. Thank you guys again for the support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your family and friends. And let us know if you want us to go some more into our story, have maybe like a part 2 of this. Because I think it was a really nice discussion. Let us know. Talk to us. Join the community. And with that being said,
we love you.
Bye.